Hi guys, in this video I am going to discuss about the classification of algae. By the end of this video you can able to understand the classification of algae by Fritsch in the year of 1935 to 48. Fritsch, he is a well-known algaologist of the Great Britain, has published two volumes of books on structure and reproduction of the algae in 1935 and 1948. In this book, he has discussed his own system of classification for algae. His system is the most comprehensive and authoritative account on algae even today. His classification is based on the following characters: pigmentation, details of flagella, reserve food materials, presence or absence of true nucleus in the cells, range of thallus structures, methods of reproduction, and patterns of life cycle. Based on these characters, Fritsch divided algae into 11 classes. They are Chlorophyceae, Xanthophyceae, Chrysophyceae, Basilariophyceae, Cryptophyceae, Dinophyceae, Chloromonodinae, Euglenophyceae, Phaeophyceae, Rhodophyceae, and Cyanophyceae. Chlorophyceae. The members of Chlorophyceae are otherwise called green algae. They are more common in freshwater than in saltwater. The thallus may be unicellular or multicellular. If multicellular, it may be filamentous or heterotrichous or siphonous or pseudoparenchymatous. The cells is rich in cellulose. These algae have grassy green chromatophores which contain chlorophyll A, chlorophyll B, xanthophyll, and carotenoids. All these pigments are approximately in the same proportion as in higher plants. The pyrenoids present in the chromatophores are surrounded by starch sheath. Their storage food is true starch and oil. The cells exhibit two or four flagella which are equal in length. If motile, many species are haploid, but some are diploid. Reproduction may be vegetative, asexual, or sexual. The sexual may be isogamous, anisogamous, or oogamous type. Life cycle may be haplontic, diplontic, or diplohaplontic. It shows alternation of generation. Now you can see the pictures. Chlamydomonas, chlorella, eudogonium, volvox, coleocates. Second class is Xanthophyceae. Xanthophyceae are otherwise called as yellow-green algae. The members of this class are more widely distributed in fresh water than in salt water. The thallus may be motile, unicellular, or multicellular. If multicellular, it may be palmelloid or dendroid or filamentous or siphonous. The cell wall is rich in pectin and is mostly made of two equal or unequal pieces overlapping at their edges. It is often silicified. The chromatophores are yellowish green in color owing to the presence of excess of xanthophylls and a small amount of chlorophyll A, chlorophyll E, and carotenoids in them. Here, it's an example for Xanthophyceae botrydia. Pyrenoids are absent in the chromatophores. Starch is absent. Reserve foods are stored in the form of oil and leucocene. There are two unequal flagella at the front end of the cell. It is motile. Many members are haploid, but some are diploid. Asexual, vegetative reproductions are common. Sexual reproduction is very rare. If it is present, it may isogamous. Third class is Chrysophyceae. Chrysophyceae are orange algae. The members of the class are mostly living in fresh water, but some are in marine water. The thallus may be a single cell or coccoid or palmelloid or dendroid, or it may be filamentous. The members of this class are mostly flagellates. The flagella may be one or two, rarely three. They may be equal or unequal. Their cell wall is non-cellulosic and bears silicified scales or calcified plates. The members of this class contain 1 to 2 brown or orange colored chromatophores in each cell. These chromatophores possess excess of phycochrysin and a small proportion of chlorophyll B, carotenes, and xanthophylls. Pyrenids are absent but are not enclosed by starch layer. Photosynthetic reserves are stored in the form of fat droplets and leucocene. Sexual reproduction is very rare. If it is present, it is isogamous. For an example, Malamonas and Chrysomonas. Yeah, this is the image of Malamonas and Chrysomebia. The fourth class is Basilarioophyceae. They are golden brown algae, otherwise it is called as diatoms. They are widely distributed in freshwater, seawater, soils, and other terrestrial habitats. The members of these class are unicellular or filamentous colonies. The colonial form are enclosed by mucilage substances. The cells are mostly diploid. The cell wall is made up of pectin substances and silica. The cell wall consists of two equal halves, each of which is made up of two or more heavily ornamented pieces. The members of this class contain yellow or golden brown chromatophores. The chromatophores contain excess of xanthophyll and carotenoids and small amount of chlorophyll A and C. The common xanthophylls are fucoxanthin, diatoxanthin, and diadenoxanthin. The storage products of fats, leucocene, and volutin. Motile cell possess a single anterior pantonymatic flagella. It is a peculiar character in this class. Reproductions may be vegetative, asexual, or sexual. Sexual fusion takes place between the protoplast of individual cells and result in oxospore formation. Life cycle is diplontic. It shows an alternation of generation. See, this is Pinularia, and the next class is Cryptophyceae. They are more common in marine water. The members are mostly motile single cells. The motile cells have two slightly unequal flagella at their anterior end. The members of the class usually bear two parietal chromatophores with various colors. The cells may be red, blue, olive yellow, brown, or green because of various proportions of chlorophyll A and C, beta carotene, diatoxanthin, and bilirubins in the chromatophores. The pyrenoids may be present. The storage products are starch and oil. Reproduction is mostly by longitudinal cell divisions and cyst formation. Sexual reproduction is rare. It is isogamous in type. Then next class is Dinophyceae. They are mostly phytoplankton living in freshwater, brackish water, and marine water. The members are mostly motile single cells. The motile cells have one transverse furrow and a longitudinal furrow. A flagellum arises from the transverse furrow and encircles the cell and and another flagellum arises from the longitudinal furrow and faces backwards. The cell wall is composed of heavily sculptured plates made of cellulose. The members of the class bear numerous discoid chromatophores, which are dark yellow or brown in color. However, in some saprophytic species, the chromatophores are colorless. The storage products are starch and oil. Sexual reproduction is common. Many species forms characteristics resting cyst. This is the examples of dinophytes, Gymnodium and Trentonia. Class Chloromonodinae. Most of the species inhabit freshwater. The motile cells bear two equal flagella inserted apically in a slight depression. The members of the class contain numerous bright green chromatophores, which contain excess of xanthophylls. Pyrenites are absent. Reserve food are stored as oil. Reproduction is mainly by longitudinal divisions of individuals. Sexual reproduction is very rare in this case. For example, Plagiocernus, Talaxolux, and Chylomonas. Euglenophyceae. This class is restricted to freshwater. Almost all members are flagellates and unicellular. They have one or two flagella inserted in a canal-like invagination at their front end. The members of this class have pure green chromatophores which contain chlorophylls and carotenoids. Reserve food is stored as paramylon, a form of white polysaccharide granule. Pyrenoids are often well developed. Reproduction is by longitudinal fission of individual cells. The resting cysts are covered by mucilage. Eutriptia. So this is the ultramicroscopic structure of eugleno. Next, Phaeophyceae. Phaeophyceae are otherwise called as brown algae. Most of the members live in marine water as a brown seaweed. A few live in fresh water. The thallus may be heterotrichous filaments or pseudo-parenchymatous filaments or true parenchymatous filaments. The motile reproductive cells possess two lateral flagella, of which one faces upwards and the other faces downwards. The cell wall is made up of cellulose and alginic acid. The members of the class have brown-colored chromatophores, which contain excess of fucoxanthin and a small proportion of chlorophyll A and C carotenoids. The majority of classes, the cells contain fucose and vesicles. Reserve food is stored as alcohols, mannitols, and laminarian, rarely oils or fucose and granules. Sexual reproduction is very common and it varies from isogamy to oogamy type. The zygote exhibits no resting periods. Here is the example of Phaeophyceae, Sargassum, Dictyota, Rhodophyceae. Rhodophyceae are red algae. Many species live in marine water as red seaweed, but a few live in fresh water. Some are living on muddy soil. The thallus may be unicellular or multicellular. The multicellular forms may be either filamentous or pseudoparenchymatous. Motile reproductive cells and flagellated members are not known. The cell wall is made up of polysaccharides and polyuronic acid. The members of the class have red color chromatophores which contain excess of phycoerythrin and small amount of chlorophylls, carotenoids and xanthophylls. Pyrenides are present in lower forms. Reserve food is stored as Floridian starch, galactan sulfate and fluoridocytes. Asexual and sexual reproductions are very common. If it is the sexual reproduction is zoogamous type. After fertilization, many branches of female sex organs fuse together and produce a cluster of corpospores. This phenomenon is called post-fertilization changes. This is very common in the case of Gracilaria. Polysiphonia, Cyanophyceae, otherwise called as Mixophyceae. Cyanophyceae are blue-green algae. The members of the class are widely distributed in freshwater and moist soils, but some species live in seawater also. Thallus may be unicellular or colonial or filamentous. The members of this class are prokaryotic and do not possess members-bound cell organelles. The cell wall consists of mucopolysaccharides and gelatinous envelope. The color of the cell is blue-green due to the presence of excess of phycocyanin, and varying proportion of chlorophyll A, B, carotenes, flavacin, mycoxanthophyll, mycoxanthin, oscillatoxanthin, and phycoerythrin in their protoplasms. Chromatophores and pyrenoids are totally absent. Reserve foods are stored as a sugar, cyanophycean starch, and glycogen. There is no sexual reproduction. Vegetative as well as the asexual reproductions are very common in cyanobacteria. Oscillatoria is a very good example. Another one is Nostoc, Gliocarps. This Nostoc, it is a biofertilizer. Thank you.